yeah, those are yeah, we don't really like those guys. I mean, it's just the whole thing was just freaking silly. It's just like I don't know. I mean, they were trying to tell us what's like, everything's on site, this and that, blah blah blah, blah. And we've seen them so many different times, and just nothing ever happened. I don't know. It's just like I think the media or whatever kind of over hyped it or whatnot. In my opinion, the videos. I mean, you can see that's what you see in the videos is all that really happened.
You return, man, February 5th. It's your second trip into the octagon. Actually, I expected you to return much quicker, man, especially in your UFC debut. You didn't really take any damage. It didn't seem like it. Were there any hiccups or obstacles in returning earlier?
No, nothing really. They just gave me a far date. They said they were booked up all the way to like January or February when I talked to them. So I guess I got in early for to get a fight. But yeah, I was hoping to get back in December or not. If not, I was hoping to fight this week really in Anaheim. That would have been a lot cooler. But stuff happens, I guess.
Were there any other opponents before you signed Puna?
It was just Puna. They offered me him, and we were pretty quick to say yes, I think, and I think he was too. So that's the only guy, I got a name for, which was kind of surprising. I thought I thought there was a couple other guys that I was gonna fight, but this one's a good matchup. I like it.
Yeah, it's a good matchup. It's an exciting matchup. I was expecting them to try to set you up with Carl Roberson again.
Yeah, from what I heard, I think he's also going to 205. He seemed like he was a big 85er in general, and I think that weight cut I don't know if that's the reason why he pulled out is because of his weight, but I don't want to make assumptions, but it seems like he's always had weight issues. But that camp kind of had weight issues too. I know another 85er, I can't think of his name. He won Ultimate Fighter, I think, and yeah, he's had some weight issues too. So
the weight issues thing, it's like, you before you got to the UFC, you were fighting at light heavyweight and heavyweight, and once you get into UFC, you're at middleweight. So the weight issues is that something that's understandable from a fighter's point of view?
Yeah, I mean, I can see how people miss weight. Like, I know people are really harsh on people that don't make it, and I think everyone should make it. It's part of the job, and it's your job. But the problem is, like, I also see how people struggle. I mean, some people are just really big for their weight class, and it's just hard to get. Some like the lighter weights, man. Like, you see those people like Max Holloway make 145, and you hear how big he is walking around. He's just a big dude, and making 145 is just, I think, a difficult task, but it's doable, and he can do it. So it just seems like at the end of the day, it is your fault. You chose to sign up for that weight class, but I also see how one little hiccup can screw someone's diet, and next thing you know, you're off by a few pounds, and that, a few pounds can just be your career, your what you're known for.
Yeah, and I've heard like even like a couple pieces of fruit has affected weight cuts.
I'm not that bad, but I heard that, people have had like even just nuts and stuff like fuck people up. You know what I'm saying? Just like almonds or whatnot. I think a lot of people don't really have. People go too much with the sports scientific diet, I think, whereas I go more off like a more plant-based, vegan, pescatarian diet. You know what I'm saying? It's a little more different. I think I like mine just because I can do it every day, even when I'm not fighting. Whereas I think some people do their diets because it's sports specific, and I think that kind of ruins people. I think it's weird how people kind of just change their diets for fight camps, where for me it's more I'm always on the same diet and always doing the same regimen, pretty much. So, there's pros and cons to both, but that's just how I like to do my stuff because I'll feel the same every time.
How do you feel at middleweight now? This is going to be your second fight at that weight. Do you feel any different? Do you feel faster, stronger? What do you feel?
I feel good. I just it's more like I would say I feel a little bit quicker, and I feel like I keep my strength, which is what I like. I keep the endurance. I think the endurance is even up a notch, but I think I keep my strength from what it feels like, and I keep I have good speed, I think, for the weight. 205 is just some big ass dudes, you know. If they had a 195, I'd probably do that. But dude, the 205ers is pretty big right now. And if I were to do 205, I think I need to mature and grow up a little bit before I make that a permanent weight class.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm waiting for them to put that 195 in there. I don't understand why they don't have that at all. It's just there's too many guys in between, you know what I mean? Because 205 is basically heavyweight.
Yeah, it is, right? Was
Yeah.
it in boxing like 205, 209 or something like that? 208? It's something like that. Then after that's heavyweight. It's just, even that, after that, I think there should be like a 225
Hmm.
and then maybe a heavyweight. It's just crazy how big 205 to 265 is. It's
Yeah.
just not, it just seems like dangerous for the sport. But I mean, I don't think it'll change either. So that's
Yeah.
kind of, a bummer, but I guess it's whatever.
Yeah, in the long run. Puna Soriano, man, it's a good step up in competition. He has a gang of fights already in the UFC, heavy-handed. What do you see in him and his style?
I think like what everyone else sees, he's a big, heavy-handed dude. He looks for the knockout a lot, and yeah, he looks like he's a tough guy and a good fighter. He's definitely a step up. I think he's pretty good. I don't see a whole lot of flaws, so I think it'll be a good matchup.
He took his first L in his last fight against Brendan Allen. Did you take a look at that fight, and what did you get from that?
Yeah, I watched that fight quite a bit. I think it was just like kind of more of a tactical match, but it seemed like Allen was a little more technical with his striking and a little bit crisper and cleaner than Puna was. But that's kind of what makes Puna dangerous, is his wild, dangerous, kind of crazy style. Otherwise, I think if he were to be technical, it wouldn't really work out for him. So I did watch it, and I thought it was it was entertaining. It was a good fight for sure. Brendan Allen's, pretty good, and they're both pretty good.
Who have been the most vital people during preparations for Puna?
Um, I've been working a lot with, my boxing coach, Rudy. Lucas, he's like our MMA guy and jiu-jitsu guy. He's been helping me out a lot. He's a good boxer too. We've had a lot of pro boxers come in, like Alan Sanchez and a few other guys. Nate's been helping me a lot because Puna's a southpaw. And Nate's obviously, Nate and Nick are some of the best southpaws in the game. So I've had a lot of people kind of just help me. I don't try to change anything too much. Just try to keep it the same.
You've said in the past, man, we talked about it, that there's not really training camps for the team. It's just like you guys are training and then you make some adjustments as you go, and then as the fight gets close, you guys make the adjustments that you need, right? So is it the
Yeah.
same this time around, or did you actually really get deep into an isolated training camp?
No, man, try to be the same. A few of my buddies have had boxing fights. Like Luciano had a boxing fight. Then it was like Jose. Chris won on his, he fought on the Jake Paul Woodley card. So we were already like kind of training and having sparring coming in and stuff. So I've just been kind of going this whole time, and yeah, it's been good. It's just been the same thing, just adding a few more workouts and a few more runs. Nothing training camp wise though. It's just kind of silly to me. It's just kind of this is kind of my life, and I don't look at it as a sport, so I don't really do the whole training camp thing.
Well, I guess is more of becoming a professional, right? Sometimes these
Hmm.
fighters are professional fighters, but they don't really take it as a professional thing.
Yeah, sometimes people get in the UFC and they realize, oh, this has to be my life, rather than doing it the whole time. They kind of treat it like a second job or whatever. And for me, it's just kind of been my whole life, and that's just how I look at it. I don't look at it as like just training, for fights. I just look at it for just training for life and the enjoyment of doing jiu-jitsu or boxing or wrestling, and enjoyment of the sport.
Is Nate also getting ready for a fight?
I hope so. He looks like it. He's always sparring, running, doing everything. He looks good right now.
Yeah. And any cross training for in the last couple of months for you guys?
Cross training with like who?
Like other teams or anything like that?
Like just because we've had a lot of boxing fights lately, we've been having a lot of boxers come in and out, or we've been going out to like LA and whatnot to go box. But that's about it. Just more boxing gyms, not MMA gyms.
How's your hands looking, man? You talking about boxing so much, and you got the team taking boxing fights. What are your hands looking like?
Hopefully good. Hopefully they show up in a couple weeks. That's the whole plan. Try to surprise everyone, but um, I don't want to say I have anything to prove, but I think I'll surprise some people.
So how do you see yourself getting that victory, man, on February 5th?
I think it's gonna be a finish, regardless, but I think it'll be later in the fight. I think it'll be either late second or mid third, early to mid third.
All right. And what do you think a win does for you? Puna's a very, very highly touted prospect in that division. You take a win from him, that's 2 wins in the division. It could catapult you somewhat.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it does. It just catapults me forward and up in the rankings, and hopefully to fight, some bigger names, maybe this year, later towards the end of this year.
Any like names, any veterans, you know what I mean? Nowadays they're putting these like fights together where they got the veterans that been around for like almost 10 years against guys like you coming up in the division. Do you have any names like on your list or anything like that?
Nothing right now. I'm just kind of going with the flow, just watching how everything plays out. Like everything changes, it seems like every day or every week. I'm just going with the flow of things and hopefully try to get, bigger and bigger fights as the time goes on. It'd be cool. I think a goal is to get in the try to crack the top 15, top 10 this year. Just seeing how, every fight plays out and just trying to set little goals to get to those bigger ones. It's all about timing and how this fight goes and whatnot. So I'm trying to take it one step at a time. But as of like looking for someone to fight, no one's really come to mind.
All right. I wanted to ask you a couple things about the Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley fight. One of your teammates got a win over there. Fight week, man, it was filled with action. The situation with AJ McKee and your team during the media day, what exactly happened there? Because there's a bunch of video, but it doesn't really show us anything.
Yeah, that was just those guys are just different. Yeah, those are we don't really like those guys. I mean, it's just the whole thing was just freaking silly. It's just like I don't know. I mean, they were trying to tell us what's like, everything's on site, this and that, blah, 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 blah. And we've seen them so many different times and just nothing ever happened. I don't know. It's just like, I think the media or whatever kind of over hyped it or whatnot, in my opinion. The videos, I mean, you can see that's what you see in the videos is all that really happened. Yeah, I don't know. Those guys are just kind of clowns, in my opinion. There are a lot of B leaguers trying to act all cool too around everybody. So it was just kind of funny to watch them walk around like that.
Caress Ultra, the fighter that Nate Diaz made flinch and his beers flew out, that became like a straight up crazy viral video. And then he puts out a challenge to Nate and offers to fight him for free. What was the reaction of the team when you guys saw that video?
Who cares about that guy? That guy's like 1 in 10. He is horrible. And it's even funnier. I mean, that took the attention from Jake's fight, every fight. I think that went more viral than anything. I had people I've never even talked to sending me that and whatnot. That video like made my year, dude. That was the funniest shit ever. Because they were trying to walk around all cool and whatnot all week, and then Nate just flinched on him, and I mean his beers were going everywhere. I was cracking up at that. I couldn't stop laughing. Just thinking about it, I'm laughing, dude. That's the funniest video I've ever seen.
Yeah, that probably goes into the top 10 Hall of Fame funniest MMA videos ever, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's a top 3 for Nate. I mean, that's a top whatever for anybody, but that's a funny fucking video, dude.
Yeah, it went crazy on the internet. Now, that night, Jake Paul, he called out Nate Diaz, man. What do you think, man? Do you think they're going to ever fight, and how would a fight between those two play out?
I think Nate just is way too technical for him. I think, obviously, Nate outboxes him anywhere it goes. It's just, I mean, does it happen? Yeah, maybe, but I just don't know. I mean, I really don't know. It just depends what happens with the UFC and whatnot. What happens with Jake? Jake's got to keep winning. I hope their paths, collide, but yeah, I don't know. I hope so, man. That'd be a big fight. It'd be stupid, not to make it, just to see Jake get slapped and whatnot, Yeah, I just don't think Jake's ever seen pressure like that or fought anyone. I mean, no one's fought anyone like Nate or Nick, so it's very difficult to prepare for that. I think that'd be interesting fight, but I think Nate would probably TKO him probably within 6.
All right, man. I'm a supporter of it, man. If Nate's gonna make crazy bank by knocking out a dude like that,
I do. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Everyone makes a lot of money. Everyone's happy. Nate beats, Jake. That'd be a great time.
A couple more, man, before I let you go.
Yeah.
MMA fans, man, they're crazy. They're wild. Some of them, are very passionate too at the same time. What do fans of the sport obsess about that fighters really don't care about?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think fans, I think it's like records and shit. I think fans get so, like, when a fighter loses, a lot of people are quick to abandon ship, which I know a lot of people do care about, but a lot of fighters don't care about. Like, if someone loses, we're just like, whatever, it's on to the next, Losing's just a part of everything you do. Whereas fans, they take that to heart. Like I think they get more hurt than the fighter themselves and whatnot, and they're, I think, pretty attached to that idea of someone's record, if that makes sense. But I don't think fighters care about it that much.
Oh, definitely, dude, definitely. You see that a lot. Like you said, if they lose one fight, they're like, "Oh, he's trash." They go crazy.
Look at the guitar guy. He just beat that I don't know that guy's name.
Giga.
Just beat that guy, but before that, they were rolling him out because he lost to Max. Max is a good fighter, Mm-hmm. It's just sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's just part of the game. I don't know. That's just a weird one for me.
PTSD, man, in combat sports. There's, very highs and very lows, that fighters go through, weight cuts, crazy battles, you know what I mean? Like stuff that happens that we don't even know about behind the scenes. Have you ever experienced any of that during your career or seen it around you?
What do you mean more specifically?
Like PTSD, let's say you had a bad weight cut, right? So, for example, I talked to another fighter. He was telling me, like, during a bad weight cut that, the sweet sweat, that smell, that gives him PTSD because whenever he smells it, he reminds me of that weight cut that he had, even though he hasn't had a bad weight cut since.
Yeah, for me, it used to be saunas. But now, like, I live in saunas. I try to sauna every day. But a few years ago, from college, wrestling, saunas were like my kryptonite. Saunas made me want to, like, fucking throw up or something, dude. Like, I hated saunas. But now I live in them. I love saunas. Saunas and ice baths, man. Because when you're in an ice bath, that's how you know you're training hard. If you're like, damn, I got to take an ice bath, that's how you know you probably got a fight coming up or whatnot. Because if I don't have a fight, I'm like, I'll be sore, but I'll just, tough guy through it. But if I have to sauna and ice bath, like, regularly, that means it's like, it's time to turn it on. So that kind of gives me PTSD. That's actually a good one. Yeah.
All right. Last one. Kevin Lee, man, when he got released and then signed with Eagle FC, they announced that they're going to pay him in crypto. And I was wondering to get your thoughts on cryptocurrency. And would you ever agree to be paid your fight purse in crypto?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of big into crypto lately for about a year. I wouldn't do my whole purse. I would do like half. I would do half and half. I've actually thought about, this next fight, put like the winnings and like, crypto or something, and then put whatever I showed up with, just keep that. I don't want to go, 100%. all the way in. I'd rather just kind of go step by step, and I like doing little by little rather than a lot at a time, just because I just don't, I'm not comfortable enough to do that. But I'm actually big into crypto. That's cool that he's getting paid in crypto. I know, like, Odell Beckham Jr. is getting paid in crypto, and like Bitcoin too, I'm pretty sure.
Wow, that's nuts. That's crazy, man. I love how fighters are into crypto too, man. Like, it shows like a different side of fighters. They only see the man that's in the cage most of the time. So when you think of crypto, that takes a lot of research too. It's not an easy thing to understand.
Yeah. No, when I have like downtime in between like training sessions or whatnot, I'll usually just like put on a video and just try to get into like the crypto, the NFT stuff, the stocks, all that. That's like my little nerdy side. But I feel like that's the eventual future. So might as well just try to learn while I can.
Yeah, get in where you fit in, man. February 5th, UFC Fight Night, Las Vegas. Nick, appreciate the time, man. Good luck on the fight.
Hell yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.